a California woman is suing the hospital that removed her breasts when she was just 13 years old. The 18-year-old now, who's being referred to as Layla Jane, says doctors began pushing her to have the invasive and irreversible surgery when she was just 11 years old and believed that she was transgender. She is suing Kaiser Foundation hospitals and 4 doctors, saying she never got a proper psychological evaluation before the surgery. We have reached out to the hospital, and we do have a response, which we'll give you in just a little while. Let's bring in Mark Trammell, Executive Director of the Center for American Liberty and one of the attorneys for Layla Jane. Mark, it's good to have you with us. Appreciate it. So here's what you say in the lawsuit against Kaiser Foundation. You say that Kaiser handed Layla the prescription pad and allowed her naive, emotional, childish roller coaster of feelings to dictate the so-called treatment that she would receive. This all began when she was 11 years old.
That's right. That's right. You know, she was suffering from several comorbidities from the ages of 6 to 11. She went to the doctor's office at 12, and after about a 75-minute evaluation, one of the defendant doctors in this case decided, yes, she's transgender and should be on cross-sex hormones, should be on puberty blockers, and within 6 months of that diagnosis was rushed into the operating room under the scalpel to have a radical double mastectomy.
And just remarkable. I'm sorry, I was going to get in here. This is the detransitioner, Laura Beck. This is this morning on this network on the conveyor belt system to get kids surgeries. And I'll get your reaction out of this.
We have a plethora of young girls and boys, but girls especially, that are having identity issues, normal issues through puberty, or more severe issues with autism, trauma, mental health issues. And they are going into clinics and saying, I need help with my gender dysphoria. And they're being fast-tracked on a conveyor belt-like system to getting surgery and hormones, which create permanent damages instead of addressing their actual mental health concerns.
Going back to the initial story at hand with this 18-year-old California woman now suing over having her breast removed at the age of 13, why are these serious, life-changing decisions being made so quickly?
It's a great question. You know, I think there's a lot of financial profit to be made in having these life-changing decisions being made at an early age. We saw recently Vanderbilt Hospital having to shut down its gender transition clinic after a physician there was caught on camera saying that this was a cash cow for them. The challenge here is that if you get a child on puberty blockers at a young age, they're going to be on those puberty blockers for the rest of their lives. So it becomes very profitable for Big Pharma.
Right. So we've spoken with another young woman. She's 25 years old now, who was transgender, went through surgery, and is now detransitioning. Her name is Prisha Mosley. Here's what she said about this idea that society is pushing, that helping a child transition through gender surgery is helpful to them. Here's what she says.
It is only harmful. Whatever you're going through that caused the gender dysphoria is still going to be going on after you undergo gender reassignment. You'll still be traumatized or struggling or mentally ill or whatever it is, but just now in a mutilated body. Everyone is uncomfortable during puberty, and doctors have found a way to make money off of that discomfort and medicalize puberty.
You allege in your lawsuit that gender reassignment surgery is, quote, ideological and profit-driven medical abuse. And Prisha Mosley points out that in 4 out of 5 cases, adolescents who go through gender dysphoria eventually grow out of it.
That's right, they do. You know, I think on top of that, we're seeing this lie being shared with young patients and their parents that they have a choice, as Layla's parents were told, the choice being a dead daughter or a live son. It's coercive, and it's being told to two of my clients individually, but it's being told to young people across the country. And it's being told to them in a way that certainly denies them their informed consent in these types of procedures.
Well, I want to get in here, Mark, Kaiser's side of the story. This is a statement they have issued in response, saying when adolescent patients with parental consent seek gender-affirming care, the patient's care team carefully evaluates their treatment options, and then a multidisciplinary team of physicians and other experienced professionals are available to provide the patient and their family with information, counseling, and other support. Care decisions always rest with the patient and their parents or guardians, and in every case we respect. My page is blanked out here, the families and their informed decisions about their personal health. So they're saying we're doing everything we need to let this patient know what they need to know to make these serious life-changing decisions. What about their side?
Sandra, if they were truly doing that, they wouldn't be concealing less invasive treatment options. They wouldn't be concealing counseling options to these young people. They also wouldn't be concealing medical scientific research that would dissuade them from transitioning. You know, I think the best study out there is this study out of Sweden. It's a 30-year study that shows that young people, especially women who transition, actually have a greater, it's a 40-fold increase in suicide risk. So when they're telling parents and they're telling young people, you really have no choice, suicide's inevitable, it's not true. And so if we're talking about informed consent, you have to give the patient all of the information so that they can make a well-informed decision before going into this. And I would just also add, you know, she was 12 years old. That's a child.
Yeah.
We don't allow children to get behind the wheel of a car. We don't allow them to buy a cigarette. We don't allow them to sign a check. But yet we have doctors at Kaiser who are giving them a prescription pad to amputate parts of their body. That has to stop.
Well, we know that Kaiser has not responded to your lawsuit yet. When it does, please let us know. We'll keep following the story. Mark Trammell, great to see you. Thank you for coming in.